Welcome to another edition of Smalltalk for you. This morning I thought I'd go through a little example using Pharo Smalltalk, just a simple state machine in case you've never seen one of those before. I have a very simple one that will do stuff like this. I have a line of text, comma delimited, and I want to read this into a collection. Or I want to delimit strings by putting double quotes around them, and I want to read this into a collection. So if you see this, line 2, and let's see what I get out of this. You see that I get the collection, a string 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 2. Notice those are all numbers. So simplest way to do this, of course, is with a state machine. And notice the instance variables. I have the line coming in, the current state, the current element that's being built up, and then the collection that's going to be put out. So let's take a look at how I did this. I have my initial state, so I put it in start colon, and that's because I'm constructing the messages. Not the only way you could do this, but I did it because it seemed simple to me. And I set up my ordered collection and my current element. Then I have execution. So I have the parsing method here, which is the main line where it comes in. So I create a read stream on the line. And then I go ahead and say, while it's false, I'm going to go ahead and peek. And why do I peek? Well, I look at the next character without advancing the stream. Then I call this method to handle that next character, and I send it the stream because I'm going to advance the stream to wherever it needs to be in that method based on state. And then at the very end, since I'm going to end with a last element, I might still be in the middle of processing, so I'm going to grab that last element that was in process if there was one, and then just hand back the collection. So everything goes on here. And I get the message, which is going to be the state as string with so that I can send in both the next character and the state and everything that I need. So I'm performing it with the character and with the stream, and then I'm going to determine the state system in there. So let's go into the states. It's going to start out in start. So here we have this, and I check, is it a quote? If it is, I'm going to set the state to started quote, and that's all I'm going to do. If it's false, I'm going to see if it's a space. If it is, I'm going to step back to start since I don't care about space, so I'm going to trim those out. If it's not, I'm going to say it's processing. I'm going to put the current element on the stream, and then I'm going to go ahead and put that out there. So I make sure I initialize my stream and put the character on it. Notice that I'm going to advance the stream no matter what. So then I have two other states, started quote and processing. So started quote, what goes on with that? Well, we're going to read up to the next quote. So we assume that it's just single quote delimited. We don't handle embedded quotes. You can do that with this kind of machine. You just have to extend the logic for what happens when you get a quote. But in any case, this is pretty simple. I advance it up to the end of the next quote, get that character, all those characters, and put them in, and then put my state back to start after getting the comma out of the way. And then finally, I have processing. What if I don't have a quote? What if I just have a normal element? I'm going to see if it's a comma. If it is, I'm going to go ahead and add that element and put my state back to start. If it's not a comma, I'm just going to iteratively build up what I've got. So I'm going to put character by character on that little internal stream, and when I reach the character, I'm going to assume I built that thing up character by character and take it out and then put my state back to start. So you see the way this works. I really only need 3 messages to handle any of this logic. So I can go ahead and do this, inspect it, and I get that. Now, how did I get numbers out of this? Well, it's because at the very beginning, if I go into my initialize release, you notice that in from, rather, I have a collect that does a simple conversion. It's just going to go ahead, and it's a very simple method. It's just going to go ahead and turn anything that's all digits into numbers. So it's not terribly complicated and not even necessarily needed, but that's really all there is to this. So if you want to build this kind of state machine-based parser, very simple. You just have to figure out all your states and then work with it more or less the way I did here. So that's about it for today. Until next time, have fun with whatever Smalltalk you're using.